I am Stephanie Barrett. I'm a flutist, a music teacher, an adult figure skater, and a mom of 2 boys who are ages 12 and 10. Today I'm going to be going over some basic note reading concepts. If you're a parent who has a child beginning music lessons, I strongly recommend you save this video so that you'll be able to help them understand the things they're learning in their lessons. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll be putting out new music theory videos every Thursday. So when you begin your note reading journey, the first thing you're going to learn is that all music is written on a staff. A staff is 5 horizontal lines with a space between each line. It's modeled after your hand. So we have line 1, then space 1, line 2, space 2, line 3, space 3, line 4, space 4, and line 5. Most instruments read their music from a single staff, but the piano actually combines 2 staves, one for the right hand and one for the left hand, and we call it the grand staff. Each line and space gets a letter name, and that's what I'm going to teach you today. So before we can give our lines and spaces letter names, we need to create our grand staff. I have here my top staff and my bottom staff. I'm going to add to it a bar line and a brace. These 2 things connect the 2 staves together and make it officially the grand staff. Now, you can't read any notes on the staff until you have clef signs at the beginning of the staff. On the top staff, I'm going to put a treble clef. The treble clef circles around the second line of the top staff, and it names that line G. It's the G above middle C. Then I'm going to put a bass clef on my bottom staff. The bass clef has a dot on line 4 and a dot in space 3 and a dot in space 4. And those 3 dots form a triangle around line 4 and names line 4 F. That's going to be your F below middle C. Now we need to understand the music alphabet. The music alphabet is only 7 letters long. It's A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then after G, you have another A. Every time we come back to the same letter name, it's called an octave. And every octave has doubled the vibrations per second of its lower octave. So let's talk about middle C. Everyone thinks that middle C is called middle C because it's in the middle of the piano keyboard. That's actually not true. Middle C is a few keys lower than the middle of the piano keyboard. It's actually called middle C because it goes in the middle of the 2 staves between the treble clef staff and the bass clef staff. So now we're going to put those letter names on the grand staff. The first 2 letters I'm going to put on the staff, aside from the middle C I've already shown you, is the treble clef G and the bass clef F. So to draw the G, we're going to draw it on line 2, with line 2 being exactly between the circle. Then to draw bass clef F, I'm going to draw it on line 4 of the bottom staff, with the line being exactly between the line 4. Now we have a middle C, a treble G, and a bass clef F. Each one of these notes on the staff represents exactly 1 key on the piano keyboard. So when we talk about middle C, we are always talking about that note. Now to fill in the other letters, we're going to go alphabetically using all of the lines and spaces. So from the F, I'm going to draw a note on space 4 that looks like that. That's going to be G. Remember, after G comes A again. So the note on line 5 is A. And then we're going to put a note sitting on top of line 5, and that is B. Now that we've gone F, G, A, B, you can see alphabetically we've arrived at the middle C. Now I'm going to head up into the treble clef, and we have D on the space below line 1, E on line 1, and F on space 1. Those letters on the staff represent these notes on the piano. F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Now, using the music alphabet, I can continue going down the bass clef staff and up the treble clef staff in alphabetical order. Now you're probably going to say, that's a lot to remember. So now I'm going to get rid of all of those notes and give you a few mnemonic devices that you've probably heard before to help you remember where all these letter names go. So keep in mind, we always read the staff from the bottom to the top. This is line 1 on the treble clef staff. This is line 1 on the bass clef staff. So our mnemonic devices are going to begin at line 1 and go up. For the treble clef staff, our treble clef line notes are E, G, B, D, and F. And the saying that you're going to want to remember is elephants go bouncing down freeways. Elephants go bouncing down freeways. Your treble clef space notes spell the word face. So space 1 is F, space 2 is A, space 3 is C, and space 4 is E. You might want to screenshot this as we go. Now for the bass clef. Your bass clef lines are G, B, D, F, and A. And that saying is good boys do fine always. And your bass clef spaces are all cows eat grass. All cows eat grass. Go ahead and screenshot this one, and I'll be right back to fill in all those words for you. Okay, get ready to take one more screenshot. Here we go. You may have had a few questions come up. One of them might be, but what about the BCD in the middle of the staff? Well, you just need to memorize it, right? It's 3 letters. You can do that. I'm going to put those up here again. Feel free to grab another screenshot. The next question you might be asking is, But how do I go from having to use these mnemonic devices to actually being able to read? And honestly, the answer is practice. You have to make yourself do it. There's no easy way. There's no trick. It's just repetition. And the last thing that I want to make very clear is that while the right hand always plays the top staff and the left hand always plays the bottom staff, the treble clef does not mean right hand, and the bass clef does not mean left hand. They merely tell you which note on the staff you're playing. We can see a treble clef on the bottom staff or a bass clef on the top staff. It happens more than you'd think. Now you may have noticed that when I drew my middle C, I had to draw in a little line in the middle of the two staves. That line is called a ledger line, and that's what I'm going to be covering next week. So stay tuned.